Hello my fellow average humans, welcome back to the hardcore world, where in the last episode we made this absolute beaut of a jungle temple to hide our creeper farm. And now we've got a load of gunpowder, and because walking's boring and I want to fly about, that means today we're planning to complete the game and have a ding dong with a dragon. If we survive, of course. And to be perfectly frank, actually that's not right is it? My name's Snow, not Frank. And to be perfectly Snow, I'm pretty much good to go. The armour is pretty decent-ish, and I already grabbed some blaze rods a little while back. But in the last episode, when we got a few villagers sorted, we got these guys, but what we didn't get was a protection 4 bloke. And I want a protection 4 bloke. So if we're going to make a protection 4 bloke, then we should probably transform this horrible big hole into a massive grand library filled with librarians. And if we're going to build a massive grand library filled with librarians, then we should probably build something like this beautiful blurry tower on top of it, right? Which I think will probably go around this sort of area, and because I'm a bit backwards, I'm going to build the tower first. And I don't want to hang about, so I guess step one to that is cracking on with gathering a bunch of resources. Yeah? Yeah, boy! And by gathering a bunch of resources, I mean first grabbing some calcite, and then just grabbing a whole bunch of blocks that we already had from our storage house, and crafting them up into different bits and bobs. I then grabbed some wheat, made the sheep freezing cold, before then making some white concrete blocks and making a mess. And you can probably see from the bits we've got here that this is going to be a slightly different palette to the rest of the area. Over here we've got like jungle and mud and bamboo and all that sort of stuff, but I think it's time we mixed it up a bit, so I'm on a mission today to prove that diorite doesn't actually look like bird poop and we can use it in a decent build. And I'm thinking that we need to add a bit more height variation around here too, so I'm going to put a collection of towers here that can lead down to our library and add that height that we need. But before we can do any of that, this beacon needs to go, and then also a whole bunch of this bamboo to clear a bit of space. And now that's done, and as satisfying as it is to chop down a load of bamboo, now I do feel really bad, guys. I've started to decimate the home of this absolute beaut. Oh my god! I love it when they roll around, it's so cute! Wait, I think we give them bamboo, don't we? And then they get excited. Ah! Oh my god! Look at them! I want to keep you, but I think we need to give you a name. I've got an idea. Amanda the Panda. Perfect name for a panda, eh? Now Amanda, I'm sorry to do this to you. Oh, don't show me your butt like that. But I don't want to lose you, so you're going to have to stay in that boat for now, and maybe we can find something to do with you a little bit later. Let me know in the comments if you can think of something special to do for Amanda the Panda that doesn't involve just kind of leaving her in a boat for the rest of eternity. But sorry Amanda, now we need to stop pandering to you. Because now we need to crack on with making step one of our grand plan, the tower. And what I'm thinking is a big large tower here in the middle with a couple of other towers coming out a bit to the side. So for the big central tower, I'm thinking we go for some stony blocks at the bottom like this with a run of 5 and then a knobbly bit and then another run of 5 and another knobbly bit and another run of 5, etc, etc, until we make ourselves a lovely perfect circle that all joins up nicely. And then that's obviously going to go all the way up like, you know, an actual tower. And this is where the diorite poop block comes in. As you can see from this expertly constructed lapse of time, which makes me look like a bit of a speedy weirdo. But a weirdo who's tried to blend from the stony bits into the white concrete, but kind of feather in from the andesite and stone into the diorite blocks as a bit of a transition. And I think the blend of blocks is pretty nice, however this middle bit here between the different tower shapes is obviously proper strange, so we need to do something about that, don't we? And it's done, and it's looking pretty sweet, but as you can see, this is a little bit of a problem at the moment. So I'm running away to have a nap and to sleep the night away. See you later, suckers! And back to the build, it's obviously missing something pretty important, which is a roof. So seeing as this thing is basically just stone and white blocks, I think it probably needs a bit of colour. And I'm thinking that colour should maybe be a little bit of me. It's orange, just in case I didn't make that obvious enough. And if we head up here to our storage room, I think we've got a whole bunch of acacia, which is good. And I'm pretty sure over here we've got a handful of pumpkins. Yep, we do. But I think we probably want some other orangey type blocks, like red sandstone, which we haven't found yet. So time to go on a bit of an adventure.
A few moments later.
Finally! Ugh, we've been rowing for ages. I have no idea why I decided to do this before getting wings. But come here, you sweet, sweet orange, not red sandstone. Here's a really quick time lapse of me getting sand and also getting some terracotta and also slipping over my sword totally by accident. Whoa! And after an extremely long and painful trip home, we are finally back home and me and my new parrot bros are ready to put our roof on this thing. Which, as you can see, has precisely about 7 bits of orange, not red sandstone, so that trip was definitely not a waste of mine and your time. But what is good is if I head down here, you can see that I've added some extra shape around the bottom here, and if we head into free cam, you'll see that the tower is starting to look very nice indeed. So nice that I think someone's moved in. Go away! So shall we add a couple of extra cheeky towers next to it then? Yes, okay Snow, you're the boss, let's do that. Starting with a slightly smaller 3 wide tower to the side, which we join to the main tower with a lovely little archway and then fill it out all at the bottom. Followed that up by adding another little tower on the opposite side, this time floating in the sky, but actually, oh wait, no it isn't, because we've joined that to the main tower as well, you clever little sausage. We then went round and just added a few little details on the towers, like some cute little windows and accessories like some hanging plants, barrels, and spanned a bunch of leaves around. And then I got a bit carried away and extended the path and spammed a bunch of flowers and stuff to try and make it look nice. And I think we should jump into a well cheeky look at it in shaders, because that makes it look even nicer, I think. Please give me validation. And if I take you inside, obviously I haven't done an interior, because why would I? But I have made this little staircase that takes you down into the villager hole, so start to have a bit of an idea of how this whole thing's going to be laid out. But before we can get started on the library, there's one block that we're going to need an absolute ton of for a library: bookshelves. And obviously we can get these in bulk from these librarian dudes, but for that you're going to need a bunch of emeralds, and we have 3. So we need a solution to that, and I'm thinking that we should move this very squashed in villager breeder and these unhappy fellas over to the tower over there. And then underneath this house we could put a little pumpkin and melon farm that we can then use to trade with some farmers for a whole bunch of emeralds. So while I figure out how to do that without losing all of these guys, I'm gonna crack on with that, and then you go and have a cup of tea or something, and I'll be back in a sec. Sorry to interrupt the tea interlude. I had to, just so you know. But I thought I would quickly show you what I've done so far. This is a shulker craft tutorial, which I'll link in the description, and as you can see it's already started working, albeit melons are a bit better than the pumpkins. So far I've done about half the decoration, still working on it, but I quickly needed to show you what's going to go in all these little pods. So if I break this block, you should be able to see. Oh! Oh my god, look at the little munchkins! They don't look particularly happy, do they? I figured if we had some farmers down here, then that should make the emerald trading a lot easier. Well, I'm going to finish trying to decorate this thing and try and stop these being fishermen and get them into their little pods, and I'll be back in a minute. All done, and looking pretty nice. There was one unfortunate incident though. I had to decorate this now, because I know that if I don't, I never will. Which if you see how my Skelly farm from episode 1 is looking, you'll understand. So now I'm going to need to spend a whole bunch of time leveling these guys up to the pumpkin trade. But I'm thinking that there might be a way that perhaps we can kind of speed this up a little bit. Which is first to go and grab some wheat and lock in all the trades. What? Hello? What? How on earth did you get in here? Okay, well I guess we got a roommate now. And then get this guy to follow us. And make him fall down there. Past the breeder that I still haven't moved. Oh no. I don't think it worked. Make the puddle a bit bigger. And then get this guy to follow us. And get him to fall down there. And then as if they haven't had it hard enough already, he's gone and had a little munch on him. And then we can grab a few of these from the nether. Make some of these. And then we can make some splash potions of weakness. And then we can cure these lot for some cheaper trades. So now I'll wait for them all to stop smelling, and then I'll do a spot of shopping and see you in a jiffy. AFKing in a box, AFKing in a box. All done, and we now have a whole bunch of emeralds ready to go, and hopefully that'll be enough to get some bookshelves. And special bonus, we were able to repair our tools as well. And I've done the maths, and with the size of the library that I want, I think we're going to probably need about 400 of the bookshelves. And with the price that these guys are charging, that's going to cost us a small fortune. So guess what, guys? Something super exciting. I now need to get all of these lot turned into librarians, and then I get to do the whole zombie thing all over again. Spoiler alert, this is sarcasm. But we cracked on anyway, grinding away the librarians, and after looking in the trades I wanted, we popped upstairs and found this guy who was a good boy and zombified them. And then I was a better boy by saving them from a lifetime of misery. We then did more shopping and upgraded our gear with the proceeds. And after all that, we now have a whole bunch of trades like bookshelves for 2 and mending for a solid 1, which has given us a whole bunch of snazzy new gear. Oh, and also all of these bad boys. P.S. That took forever. And obviously the whole point of this drawn out long-winded process was to go and do the dragon, which we are certainly kitted out for now. But we kind of need to do something for all this lot, because to be honest, I feel a bit bad with them all being cooped up in here. But obviously I don't really feel bad for these lot who I don't really need at the minute, so they're just gonna kind of live here for the rest of eternity. See ya! So now it's finally time to build that massive grand library I've been banging on about. Time to gather a bunch of resources. Oh wait, there's a whole bunch of chests here. I wonder what's inside. Oh no way, they look like the perfect materas for a massive grand library. That is so unlikely, and this clip definitely isn't several hours later. So the first thing we want to do for this build is start to dismantle this stairway, because actually stopping villagers going up and down this thing is going to be a pain, and it kind of cuts off half the room. This ladder here goes straight up to the tower, and that'll be easier to block off, so I think that's going to be the route in. Much better. Next, time to think about the layout. I can't really be bothered to do any more digging, so I kind of want to make use of this layout that we already have here. So I'm thinking a level up here, and then maybe a staircase down to another section down here. That'll do for now, because this is just about trying to figure out the general layout. I think I'll probably have to push that wall back a little bit just to give a bit more space for this bottom section. But it's getting kind of hard to visualise at the moment what I'm going to do with the space. So I'm thinking I'm going to add some pillars around the edges for a bit of structure, which will probably link into some beams going along the top for the ceiling. So much for not mining out more stone. Apparently there was a load of water behind there, but I think that's a pretty solid shape, so we're going to have this angled bit at the end so it's not just a big square. Now let's fill it all in with some walls, but this is where the terracotta that we got earlier comes in handy. Nice! That adds that bit of colour and complements the other blocks so it isn't all just stone everywhere. These sprucey bits over here will probably be like bookshelves or something, but I need to come up with a design for that. And I also need to get a roof on it, maybe a floor down that isn't quite as grim, and then decorate the hell out of all of this place with bookshelves galore. Future Snow, press fast forward on the recording now! And here we are, my friends, our beautiful library is all complete. And you know what, I am actually really chuffed with this, and I think it came out really nice. Let me know in the comments what you reckon. A fitting home for librarians? And we've got all the rows of bookshelves throughout, so you know, you can kind of tell that it's a library. Over here we've used the lecterns as a little balcony thing to stop them falling over into the bottom section. And then we've got the stairs that lead us down to this big section at the bottom here with more bookshelves all the way around and a lovely massive fireplace to keep those librarians nice and warm. And speaking of librarians, what do you reckon? Should we let them out? That's better. They look totally at home now, don't they? Climbing up the bookshelves, you know, like totally normal humans. And that's it. The time is finally here. All I wanted was protection 4, and in all that build up, we've built a beautiful tower for our village, a pumpkin farm housing farmers, our lovely library for the book dudes. But now I think the time is finally here for some absolutely epic filled drama as we try to defeat that big terrifying boss, the dragon.